Hey yo YouTube, what's good? It's your girl Dom and I'm back with another video. Yo, this video we got 20 jobs you never knew existed, bro. 20 jobs you never knew existed. I know, like, recently, you know, sometimes you just like to go on Indeed and see what's out there. You know what I'm saying? But there's hella jobs opening and open that, but what's up with the minimum wage, bro? Why in 2021 is the federal minimum wage 7.25? Make that make sense to me somewhere. But you want to charge an arm and a leg for somewhere to stay, bro. It's like y'all want niggas to be homeless. Like, you want niggas to wild out and rob niggas and do grimy shit just to make some money because these jobs ain't paying shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Get my likes and my subscribers up, you know what I'm saying? Make this my job. And no, but for real though, like and subscribe, let's get into it.
From people who harvest giant blocks of marble, to master Lego builders, to people who can make babies
Master
cry
Lego
in
builders.
movies.
Wait, make babies cry in movies. There's a job where you can make babies cry in movies? No cap. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here. I know they ain't. And what's the giant Legos for? Is that for Legoland? Is that what that means? Is that what it's called? I'm pretty sure it's called Legoland, child. I don't know.
There are a lot of fascinating and unexpected jobs out there. But just because you haven't heard of them doesn't mean you haven't seen their work on the big screen, on your plate,
Don't
or
tell me
in
this
your
nigga
blanket.
train spiders. Was that a
This
dog
cinder
groomer?
block was made to be broken. And it was created
That's
by New Rule
crazy.
FX's
This nigga made a whole job of making prop furniture. Why ain't I think of that shit?
Ryan Johnson, who specializes in breakaway movie props. His most frequently requested props are these glass bottles. They're made with a thin resin plastic that looks exactly like the real thing, but an actor can break one over their head on camera without getting injured.
Yo.
Some other props include chairs and bricks that can fall apart with just a little pressure, and glass shards that are actually made from rubber. Breakable windows are made by gluing together multiple panes of glass. So while the shards are real, they won't hurt the actor as long as they punch straight through the pane.
That's insane, bro. Are you crazy? You made a whole
To
job
be
out
a
of prop
great
furniture.
bonsai artist, one needs to dwarf real trees and then
Yo,
master
that-
bending
now that-
and twisting.
That JG Guap. When I tell you, them things sell for yo, you probably could get like a milli off them joints for real. Like, no lie. I know you can get a good couple hundred G's for sure, for a nice one. That's why she doing it. She like, I'm living good. I'm chilling.
Twisting trees into intricate and artful shapes. But there's one trait a bonsai tree artist like Chiako Yamamoto needs to master: patience.
All them trees she
It
got.
takes 3 years for a transplant to create new
Ooh,
roots,
damn,
and
that's a long
5
time.
years for the tree to adapt to any of
But I mean,
Yamamoto's
it's a tree.
changes.
It needs time.
According to Yamamoto, this small bonsai took
Wait.
15 years.
That's cap. 15 years for that little thing? Are you fucking kidding me? How long since she kept the other ones? The fuck? What's the...
to finish. And this one here took 25 years to look like this.
You a lie. 25 years? Ain't no fucking way, bro. Has she been watering them? Was she like, she be dehydrating the trees? Ain't no way, bro. That's crazy.
And while this is an art form, these are living things, so they constantly change and respond to light and water.
That's what I'm saying.
It's no wonder that one can sell for around 100 million yen, or just under $1 million.
What did I say? What the fuck? I'm right.
Matt Slagle is one of the master model builders behind these massive Lego replicas of major cities. Here's New York,
What are they for,
San
though?
Francisco, and Las Vegas. The builders used 10 million blocks on Miniland USA, with
Is that
New
a
York
job?
alone
You
using
talking about
3
Miniland
million.
USA?
And
What is
everything there,
Miniland
from
USA?
a car
Wait
to
a
the
minute.
Statue of
What's Miniland USA? Is that a amusement park or somewhere? Somebody let me know where Miniland USA is.
Liberty had to be built exactly on a 1 to 20 scale of its real-life counterpart. And master model builders have to get every tiny detail right. Like you can see here in each of San Francisco.
They're talking about every tiny detail. Is the people in is the Lego real people?
Those
Every
painted
detail,
ladies.
right.
Their crowning achievement,
I mean,
the
every
One
building
World
detail,
Trade Center
right?
replica. At 26 feet tall, it stands as the tallest Lego model in the U.S.
It's in the U.S.
More
Why just in the U.S.? What's the tallest Lego model? I want to see that.
marble has come from the quarries in Carrara, Italy, than anywhere
I
else
like
on
Legos.
Earth.
We might watch a Lego
The quarries
video.
produce 4 million tons per year, and it takes 13,000 people to harvest and extract all that
love
material,
marble.
including
This shit.
600 truck drivers who make their way up dangerous roads
Dope.
every single day.
Marble
To remove the marble,
countertops.
quarriers have to carefully drill 3 holes.
They're just talking about a job you didn't know about. How else did we get it?
In a slab, creating 1 vertical line and 2 horizontal lines. These meet in 1 central strategic spot. They then carve
Never
it
knew
out using a
existed.
5mm
You may not have
diamond
knew
wire
how they
until the
did it,
marble is
but we
fully
know that
removed from the
somebody did
mountain.
it.
More wires
may
or a
not know
chainsaw
exactly
can then
how.
cut these marble blocks down even more. Real truffles are only found underground by a truffle hunter, like James Fever. First,
Truffle
Fever's
hunter?
dog has to sniff out the truffle's location. Then, Fever has to dig
Didn't
each
know
one
that
out
there was
by
a truffle
hand.
hunter.
He also needs to sniff it to make sure
With a
it's
truffle
even
hunter
ripe after
dog?
picking it. And even if
How
he
do you know
does
what it
get a good
smell
one,
like?
it can go bad after just 5 days. So they need to be sold quickly. However, a truffle can reap big rewards.
Expensive.
An 80-gram truffle can net you $90, while the world's largest white truffle sold for $61,000 in 2014.
$61,000 for a mushroom, dude? Why? For what? Ain't no mushroom that good in the world. They just bought that shit just to say they had it.
Elaine Hall is what is known in Hollywood as a baby wrangler. Her job is to make sure that child actors are safe on set and that they give the best performance possible. Hollywood has specific time limits for how long young stars can work, so Hall makes sure her stars nail their takes as quickly as possible. When working on Aquila and the Bee, she was able to get a baby to hysterically cry on command
That
simply
baby was
by
loud,
fake
too.
crying herself.
Man, I can do that shit. You mean to tell me this? You mean to tell me Shorty got paid to make a baby cry by crying herself? Bruh, I can do that shit. How much they paying? How much is the baby
Greenland
crier
shark?
position? How much is the baby crier position paying? Man, we fucked up.
Is the most toxic shark in the world. But in Iceland, Gergen Hildebrandsson and his family have been making and selling fermented meat from it for generations. It's a laborious
Fermented meat is, they selling old meat. Fermented meat, that's just basically what it is. It's just old, dried. Ugh.
6-month process to make these sharks edible. The meat is first fermented in cold storage rooms for 6 to 9 weeks. Then it needs to be hung outside for 6 months to dry out, while still retaining the correct texture.
That's just a
While
disgusting
certain
job
food
I
items
didn't
you
know
see on
existed.
screen might be fake, a lot of food in movie scenes is real. And for those occasions,
I know that wasn't
productions
real.
hire a food
Was
stylist.
that real? Well, I mean, it probably was. Is yo, Will Ferrell's stupid, bro.
Like Zoe Hegedouche. Her job is to make sure all the food on camera is both appealing to the cameras and edible for the actors. Sometimes that even involves substituting real food with edible look-alike props. For example, when working on the film Midsommar, Hegedouche had to make a Scandinavian dish topped with egg yolks. However, the real egg yolks wouldn't hold together on the long, hot shoot days. So instead, she concocted a sphere made of mango and orange juice that looked exactly like a real egg.
Mango and orange
Before
juice.
eiderdown fiber.
So you got fake food decorators too, bro? Where was I when they created these fucking jobs, bro? Like, where the fuck was
end
I?
up in high-end duvet covers. They first need to be harvested from ducks. Farmers start by collecting every eider nest by hand. The job entails a lot of wandering because the nests are located far apart. And a harvester needs several nests, as each one yields just 15 grams of material. The harvesting process is both ethical and completely natural, and at the same time, incredibly difficult. But that's only a fraction of...
So the duck feathers and shit and pillows and shit, like, you a fucking lie.
Before eiderdown fibers end up in high-end duvet covers, they first need to be harvested from ducks. Farmers start by collecting every eider nest by hand.
That's probably why they call
The job entails a lot of wandering because the nests are located far apart. And a harvester needs several nests, as each one yields just 15 grams of material. The harvesting process is both ethical and completely natural, and at the same time, incredibly difficult. But that's only a fraction of the work. Machines help the harvester sort through the nests, but unwanted objects like rocks, sticks, seaweed, and feathers need to be picked out by hand. Cleaning 1 kilo of it can take up to 5 additional hours.
And they ain't got no gloves.
Steven Kutcher is known as the bug man of Hollywood.
They ain't wearing no gloves, you nasty bitch. Oh, fuck. Bitch gonna have a bird flu by the time she done.
Training bugs
Bitch
for the
gonna be
big screen.
motherfucking
To
shit.
get a spider to crawl across the floor and into a slipper in arachnophobia, he guided the spider to where it needed to go using invisible vibrating wires. In Spider-Man, Kutcher put a spider on a paintbrush, then tapped it once the spider was at the end to get it to drop down to an exact spot. And in Exorcist 2, The Heretic, he trained 3,000 locusts to cling onto the wall of a cage by shining a heat-emitting light at it, drawing them to the warmth.
So he's a bug handler.
Not all scissors are mass-produced. Some are still handmade by master putter-togetherers at this factory in England.
Putter-togetherers? Is that their name for real, bro? The putter-togetherers. What the fuck?
And can cost anywhere between $100 and $315. Cliff Denton is one of just 2 remaining master putter-togetherers at the Ernest Wright factory, and it takes years of training to get to his level of craftsmanship. The final stage of scissor making alone can take 5 years of training. If you hit the wrong spot while hammering the blade, the entire pair of scissors will be ruined. Sophia Bogle is a book conservationist.
I would be a putter-togetherer if each one paid $100. If each pair of scissors, fuck.
Whose daily job is to restore 120-year-old archival books. The process begins with deconstruction. Bogle removes the acidic old tape from the book cover. She also sands it and then cleans it with a repair knife. Then she washes the individual pages in hot water and restores them, using Japanese tissue to fix any tears she finds. The rest of the process involves touching up the cover, embossing, and then gluing and pressing it all together.
Yo, that's crazy.
And the tiny details matter. If she uses the wrong type of black pen on the cover, she can damage it.
Just enhancing it, so...
The rules of gravity cannot be changed.
Pretty sure she
But
knows,
can
or she
they
doing
be beat?
research on what type of leather that is. Yeah.
A lot of those sounds you hear in nature docs are actually fake, since it's often too difficult to capture the real sounds in the field. So Foley artists like Richard Hinton have had to find creative ways to pair sounds with nature. Some of the sounds he has mastered are swimming schools of fish, lava, and even an orangutan eating.
You mean to tell me that the sounds on the nature documentaries are fake? So you mean to tell me all that money they spend to put a camera on there, they couldn't put a camera with a mic? Everybody capping. Fuck. This shit's insane. That shit's a pandemic in itself. That's what fuck. Cap 21. Fuck.
Just one of these Kolinsky sable paintbrushes can take a week and a half to make, with brush makers separating hundreds of strands of hair by hand. And it's the hair that makes these brushes remarkable. The brushes are made from the strong, high-quality tail hairs of the Kolinsky sable in Siberia. Sandra Harris is one of only 9 brush makers in the world who can make these Series 7 Kolinsky sable watercolor brushes. It can take 3 years of training to get to her level.
Wow.
Fugu, or pufferfish, is a poisonous fish that's a delicacy in Japan. To properly prepare the fish and make it edible, chefs like Yutaka Hattori must carefully remove its toxic eyes, gills, liver, gallbladder, kidneys, and ovaries. The Japanese government tightly controls who can prep the fugu. Only a few select chefs are trained to make it edible, and they must take an extensive exam to legally serve the fish. One of the biggest challenges is that the poisonous parts vary by species and can be more difficult to identify in hybrid pufferfish.
Why would you want that job?
Rogan art is created with a castor oil-based paint combined with different colors. Before using it, it needs to be lit up. It's a dangerous process that only a few artists are skilled enough to handle, as it can catch fire at any time. During this process, Abdul Ghaffur Khatri swirls paint on his palm to create heat, and then uses a metal rod to create designs on fabric. This art form has been in the Khatri family in India for 8 generations,
That is so
and they are the
dope.
last family still keeping it alive. These days, they find themselves competing with mass-produced textiles. It's a completely freehand painting process, meaning the design can come out completely different than originally planned. This is one of the reasons it takes years to learn, and also what makes both this skill set and the craft itself so
Yo,
unique.
that is dope. And he's doing all that by hand? Look at that shit. I want one. Bruh, like a shirt. Like when you know the one of them, long. Yo, bro, what the fuck? I love fucking Bollywood. Man, I was about to say I love Bollywood movies, but I love India, bro. Fuck that mean, like, I'm going one day, bro. I swear.
Filmmakers can't achieve the realistic look of their characters' weapons in close-ups if they resort to plastic blades. Enter blacksmith Tony Swatton, who has been forging weapons for movies and TV for over 30 years. He made the swords in Pirates.
I watch Forged in Fire. That's one of my shows. I'm not gonna lie to you. May seem weird. I don't give a fuck. Oh yeah, by the way, and I watched Masked Singer. I knew Bobby Brown was a fucking crab. Just like I believe in my heart that Tyrese is Robopine, and I know 100%, nobody can tell me anything else. Wiz Khalifa, my dog, you are doing great as the chameleon, my nigga. Like, yes. What do you mean? What do you mean? I know that voice anywhere. That's bro right there. Just like swear that's Tyrese, bro. Let me know what you think, bro. I'm trying to fix my shit because I done pulled it up and all that. There we go. But
to the Caribbean,
I'm
and the
you.
Hook from Hook. And Swatton can design weapons from all eras and cultures. Zorro's blade in The Mask of Zorro was created using 2 curved hunting swords from the 1500s that were cobbled together to look like the classic rapier. Cheryl Eisen stages luxury apartments up for sale in New York. That means she makes them look stylish enough that people will actually want to buy them. Eisen selects her decor from a 60,000 square foot warehouse in Jersey City full of custom furnishings, lighting, and artwork. She might choose an oversized...
Yeah. That's not a job we didn't know existed, bro. People hire stagers when they want to sell their house. People hire stagers when they want to sell apartments. Like, the fuck? Shut up.
Print to make a room look bigger, or throw in some floor-to-ceiling drapes to make ceilings appear higher than they really are. A stager must have a good eye to nail the right aesthetic for the location and the prospective buyer. Staging an apartment shows the buyer how they can live in and furnish a space, which you wouldn't see in an empty apartment. Your favorite video game characters might be created digitally, but somebody still needs to act out all of their motions. Enter Richard Dorton, a creature performer who specializes in all kinds of video game characters. His movements become the base of these characters thanks to motion capture. First, Dorton's full body is scanned and his motions are captured by a computer in real time. These actions are then translated to the CG character in the game. And to make this all the more realistic, he has to get really physical, especially for particularly dramatic moments like this roar.
They're actors.
Is there a better way?
They're just video game actors.
The pit crew.
Yeah, I need to get on that too. Shit, fuck you.
The most commonly seized item at JFK International Airport is actually food. And it's an agricultural specialist's job to seize and destroy all of it. These agents are trained to prevent the spread of any pests or diseases that could harm U.S. livestock or crops. So before dropping any fruits or vegetables in the grinder, agents like Ginger Perrone must cut open and inspect each piece for evidence of disease or pests. But Perrone gets a little help from some 4-legged canine friends, like Biscuit, who's trained to sniff out food and luggage. These dogs' sense of smell is so strong that they have an estimated 90% accuracy rate.
So they check people's bags for food and drugs. So they got a food dog and they got a drug dog. What type of time y'all on? Like, hey, bro. Hey, I don't know. I don't fucking know, bro. Like, subscribe. That's so dumb.